Why do we race? Is it to prove how fast we are? How far we can go? Do we race to find our place? To test our beliefs? To be part of something greater? To face fear? To know sacrifice? To grow stronger? To become immortal? In truth, there is no simple answer to why we race. There is only the fact that we always will.
Welcome to the Circuito Gijillo, a course that takes drivers from the shores of Copacabana Beach to the vistas of Corcovado Mountain. I'm here to give you your first look and first drive of the spectacular 2017 Ford GT on the colorful streets of Brazil's marvelous city. Beach to the vistas of Corcovado Mountain. I'm here to give you your first look and first drive of the spectacular 2017 Ford GT on the colorful streets of Brazil's marvelous city. Congratulations, you have completed your first race. Nice driving. Just what I would expect from a Forza veteran. We'd like to thank you for your loyalty with some gifts we've selected just for you. Congratulations. You've completed your first race. Nice driving. Just what I would expect from a Forza veteran. As a veteran Forza player, you may also set up your driving assist selected just for you. As a veteran Forza player, you may also set up your driving assist just for you. Now I'll give you a quick primer before starting your career. Your career spans 5 different volumes, each built around a different type of car passion. From hot hatchbacks and vintage sports cars to grand touring cars and formula racers, you will drive and collect the greatest cars in the world. But first, I'll guide you through a short 3-race qualifying series built around a different type of car passion. From hot hatchbacks and vintage sports cars to grand touring cars and formula racers, you will drive and collect the greatest cars in the world. But first, I'll guide you through a short 3-race qualifying series. Your first qualification race takes place at Lime Rock Park, known for its flowing elevation changes and rural settings. We've assembled a roster of truly iconic cars from the Super Street volume to use for qualifying. All these cars have been upgraded to be evenly matched, so choose the one that speaks to you, and we'll get started. We've assembled a roster of truly iconic cars from the Super Street volume to use for qualifying. All these cars have been upgraded to be evenly matched, so choose the one that speaks to you, and we'll get started. Great choice. Well, let's customize it to really make it yours. These designs were created by other players in our vibrant community of painters. You can choose one to apply to your car for free. Great choice. Well, let's customize it to really make it yours. These designs were created by other players in our vibrant community of painters. You can choose one to apply to your car for free. Are you ready to start your race in this car? Are you ready to start your race in this car? Every race has an objective. For this qualifying race, you must finish in 3rd place or better in order to advance. Select Start Race to begin. Powered by Drivatar technology, each driver is as unique and competitive as the players who trained them. In order to advance, select Start Race to begin. that I'll show you later. You'll also earn experience points, or XP for short. XP increases your driver level and affinity level. I'll share more details on these in the coming races that I'll show you later. Nice work passing your first qualifying race. XP for short. XP increases your driver level and affinity level. We're off to a night race at the Yas Marina circuit. With track temperatures cooling after sunset, your car's tires won't provide as much grip. Your challenge will be to find the limit of traction without going over it in order to win here. We're off to a night race at the Yas Marina circuit. With track temperatures cooling after sunset, your car's tires won't provide as much grip. Your challenge will be to find the limit of traction without going over it in order to win here. Before you start the race, select Mods, and I'll introduce you to this powerful new feature. Mods give you a whole new way to fine-tune your experience. Whether you want to go even faster or raise the stakes, mods give you the tools to make it happen. And I'll introduce you to this powerful new Select the starter pack to open it and see what mods you get. Reveal your new mods here, then press A, and I'll show you how to apply them. Or raise the stakes. Here, you can choose which mods you'll use. Some mods are permanent, while others are good for only one race. And see what mods you get. Reveal your new mods here, then press A, and I'll show you how to apply. Select an empty slot to apply your mod. Here, you can choose. You have successfully applied your first mod. Permanent, while others are good for only one race. See what mods you get. Select an empty slot to apply your mod. You have successfully applied your first mod. driver level, you'll win a prize spin. You've earned your first prize spin. You could win a credits windfall, mod packs, or even a brand new car. Each time you increase press A to stop the spin and see what you win. You've earned your first prize spin. You won a new car, mod packs, or even a brand new car. Press A to stop the spin and see what you win. You've earned your first prize spin. You won a new car, mod packs, or even a brand new car. The final qualifying race takes place at the Circuit of the Americas. The most critical section here is the tight corner leading onto the front straight and the great overtaking area leading uphill into Turn 1. The final qualifying race takes place at the Circuit of the Americas. The most critical section here is the tight corner leading onto the front straight and the great overtaking area leading uphill into Turn 1. The final qualifying race takes place at the Circuit of the Americas. The most critical section here is the tight corner leading onto the front straight and the great overtaking area leading uphill into Turn 1. If you feel ready for more of a challenge, select Drivatar difficulty and tailor your opponent's skill to be a perfect match for yours. If you feel ready for more of a challenge, select Drivatar difficulty and tailor your opponent's skill to be a perfect match for yours. Tailor your opponent's skill to be a perfect match for yours. time you raise your car's manufacturer affinity level, you receive a credits reward. Congratulations! You've successfully completed the qualifying series. Welcome to the Super Street volume. Let's learn more about the cars of Super Street.
For most of us, our first, and sometimes only, taste of racing comes on the streets. If you love cars, this is where it all starts. In the empty parking areas, and on the city streets where you race your mates between stoplights. We do this in the very first cars we owned, or the ones we saved up for later. Then we fiddled with the engines and the suspension until they went faster, and added stripes and stickers so they looked faster too. It's the same around the world, whether it's on Japanese mountain roads, on Britain's back lanes, or America's superhighways. We're talking about affordable heroes, cars that bring performance to the people. Whether they're smoking around a parking lot or hammering along a city circuit you designed yourself. They aren't the most expensive, and they won't win every drag race. But they all prove one thing. You don't need $1 million to have a car with a big heart.
Each volume contains 3 series. You'll get to choose which car you'll use for each one. You are now entered in the Challengers. Let's go choose what kind of car you'll be driving. Each division contains a group of cars from a specific car subculture. Select one of the highlighted divisions below to choose a car from its roster.
These are cars that pack big performance into a compact space, and they come from all over the world. Often they're the fastest versions of a particular model, and they squeeze every last drop of power from mass production engines. They also have more aggressive suspension to make them corner better, plus chunky body kits to help them fight the air and stand out from the others.
makeup. You're all set up to race in the Super Street Challenger Series. Let's go. The first race of this series takes place at Watkins Glen, a course that favors powerful vehicles that can make short work of its steep elevation changes. Forza Motorsport 6 is a realistic simulation that features several assists to make driving approachable for everyone. In the assists menu, you can adjust these settings to experience the full depth of this simulation. New grand prizes have been added. This happens at every driver level, so keep playing to see what's next. You won credits. Your next race takes place in heavy rain at Sebring International Raceway. Racing on a wet track poses several challenges. Tires lose grip easier during cornering, braking distances are longer, and deep puddles accumulate, causing a risk of hydroplaning. Showcase events give you a chance to drive some of the world's fastest cars in events that highlight what makes each car special. You have unlocked your first showcase event. There are many kinds of showcase events, from autocross to passing challenges, organized into separate groups. You have earned access to the showcase group. Select it to learn more about these exciting events.
The motorsport pyramid is rocky and steep, and very few drivers make it to the very top. Only they know what it's like to race at Le Mans, or Indianapolis, or Bathurst, in cars tailor-made for the occasion. In these showcases, you can get one step closer to experiencing these races and glimpse into the life of a professional racing driver. Here you'll drive the world's greatest race cars on some of the most famous circuits in international racing.
These events are all part of the Race Driver Experience Group. Select this event and we'll enter you in your first showcase race. Your next race will be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the highest capacity sports venue in the world with 400,000 seats.
IndyCar, America's ultimate single-seater championship, in which cars must somehow remain grounded while doing 230 miles per hour on a banked oval. IndyCar.
completed your first showcase race. You'll be invited to many more as you continue your career. Now, let's get